Hey, 4xe fans. I wanted to talk about a recent poll we ran in the Jeep 4xe fans Facebook group that I think has some pretty telling results. We ran a poll, and I was trying to make the poll as simple as possible to get kind of establish a spectrum, if you will, of where owners are at in their 4x experience. And I didn't relegate this to either Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Renegade 4xe, any of that. And we have all of those in the Jeep 4xe fans group. Or mainly North America, mainly United States and Canada, but there are people from Germany, from France, from Iceland, a lot of Iceland members. Well, they're all over the world, and we also have some Compass and Renegade 4xe owners, though not as many. So the poll I ran started off with a question and said, overall, how do you feel about your 4xe experience? And I only gave three options. Like I said, very simplistic. I probably skewed the results in some way, shape, or form, but I feel like the results are pretty genuine and pretty spot on. Boy, look at that beautiful sunset going on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool effect. But the responses I gave them, the first one is I've had a positive 4xe experience. The second one was I like my 4xe, but I wish it was more positive. And the third was I regret buying my 4xe. And I gotta say, the people that regret buying their 4xe, that was 6%. Not horrible, but I would say manufacturers would want that number to be a lot lower. And the people that said, I like my 4xe, but I wish it was more positive, that was either 14 or 16%. I can't remember. But 78% of people that responded to this, and we had over 1,600 people respond to this, said that they've had a positive 4xe experience. 78%. Now, that's a good number, but I would say that's probably a B- in the world of auto manufacturer. That's my guess. I would think an auto manufacturer would want that number more in the 90s than below 80. But I think it also says something about, we see a lot of people posting negative experiences in the forums and in the 4xe groups. And I think it has earned some of that. But it also says that most people are enjoying their 4xe. Most people are having good experiences with it. Now, I've had a couple of issues myself. I had a bad electric coolant heater. I had a bad coolant pump A. And I had a leaky rear axle. That's nothing specific to the hybrid, but it's just one of those things that's happened. I've had three issues. My coolant heater issue was less than positive. I will say that. And I think my experience is similar to the experience that a lot of people have had, and that they're finding the knowledge base at the dealership isn't what we would like it to be. And I think Jeep could do themselves a huge favor if they would address that in some way, shape, or form. Now, I know the dealerships are not owned by Jeep. They're not operated by Jeep. So that's where some issues get weird. And with the franchise laws, we have everything in the United States. Jeep doesn't operate those dealerships. So that's a problem. And I'll tell you what's a bigger problem is when I myself, and I know a lot of other people have had this experience, when they walk into the dealership and they're talking to the service writers and they have more and better information than the person at the dealership. I have had, I don't know how many people I've had tell me, hey, I wanted to thank you for this video. I took it to my dealership. It helped them understand the issue, and it helped them know how to resolve the issue. And I got to tell you, I don't think that should ever happen, that another owner of a vehicle who is not an automotive guy, I don't even change my own oil. I mean, I would like to, it's just one of those things, I just don't work that into my schedule. I mean, I work on my Jeep. I do all the modifications that I've done, other than putting the lift kit on. I put all the lights on and I do all that stuff, but I'm not a Jeep expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm not an automotive expert in any way, shape, or form, but here I am, my videos are being used to help the dealership understand what the problem is and also know how to fix it. And I think that's a big issue. And I think that is a big part of, at least from watching the Facebook group, watching the fans group, watching the comments and hearing from people, I think that's a big part of the frustration, is that, one, they get told things that aren't true by service people. There are things that the owners and the people who are connected with the group, there are things that we understand and have understood for a couple of years that we still find dealerships don't understand. And I would have to say that 78% would be a lot bigger if Jeep would address that issue. Now, how can they address that issue? I'm no expert when it comes to business and how businesses operate. I'm a communications guy. I work for a mobile phone company. I work in the mobile network. I mean, I don't understand big business and all that stuff. But I will say one thing that it seems to be missing with Jeep and maybe Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram that GM does is there doesn't seem to be any tier 2 support when it comes to the garages. There doesn't seem to be a phone number that somebody can, if somebody's in a garage and they run into an issue that they can't figure out or don't understand, there doesn't seem to be any tier 2 tech support available to them. And I have a friend that does that for GM. He does that exact thing. If they run into an issue that they can't figure out, he specializes in like the electronics and the hybrid systems, and he specializes in some areas. And when they run into issues that they can't resolve, they call him in. Sometimes it's just a phone call, but sometimes it's a matter of him going to the dealership and working through the issues. And I know that has happened from Jeep, but it seems like they send somebody from engineering where like a tier 2 support, which is what the community is serving as right now, basically. If there are people that posted in the group that there are a lot of us that are like, here's what your issue is. And we've even had countless stories where people say, my Jeep is doing A, I took it to the dealership, they didn't have an answer for me, or they just said, oh, that's normal operation. And then we in the community are able to speak into that and say, no, this is actually what you have going on. And that has a lot to do with like the electric coolant heater issues and the, when people have coolant pumps, when people have bad 12-volt batteries. We've seen it so many times now. We've seen the Christmas tree, or we've seen the aux switches aren't available. We all know, you've got a bad 12-volt battery. And there's been a good number of bad 12-volt batteries from the factory, enough that we in the community are able to say, this is what you've got going on, where the dealership service people aren't always able to do that. And I have a feeling if Jeep had some sort of tier 2 support that could answer those questions, people who specialize maybe in each product line or something, I don't know how it would work. I don't know how it would play out. But I definitely think that's something that's missing. And I think that's something that poll speaks to, the service end of things. I got to tell you, I just feel like Jeep is like a C minus in that area when you look at them across the board. Now, some dealerships are stellar. I go to 2 different dealerships depending on what their schedule and availability is. The one I like to go to where I bought my Jeep, sometimes they're scheduled out over a month, and there's one on the other side of town that I can go to that can usually get me in quicker if it's something I need to get done. And I find that the knowledge base of the technicians is really good. The service writers, on the other hand, they don't always know it. And I am by no means expect every service writer to know every vehicle across the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram line. That would be unfair to expect that. So it just seems like there's something missing there in the structure at Jeep that I think would do something to improve these numbers. But I think at the end of this video, I think what I'm getting at, 78% people have had a positive experience. If you read through the forums, you read through the Facebook groups about the 4xe, you see a lot of negative experiences. And what I've maintained from the beginning, if Jeep has made, let's say, 100,000 of these, I mean, we don't know what the number is, but we know it's way north of 70,000. That was the last number that we were able to get our hands on, and that was months ago. Well, that's probably a year ago. I don't know. But if you take 100,000 and you have 5% that are of the owners that are having issues, that's still 5,000 Jeeps. So you have to take the percentages. You have to look at this from a percentage standpoint, which is something I've maintained for the longest time. When you see all these negative stories, what you're not seeing are all the other people that, we don't go into the forums and we don't go in the groups and just type, hey, here's a picture of a Jeep that's been running perfectly for 6 months. That's just not something we do. So take those negative stories, and when I say they're negative, I'm not saying the people are negative for posting them. Not, by no means. People need to speak their truth, and I don't take it as negative, but people who perceive it as negative about the 4xe, and the 4xe has this, almost has this reputation for being a horrible vehicle, when there are a lot of us that have had great experiences. So I think that's something to keep in mind, and something I wanted to include in this video. So thanks for watching this. What's your experience down below? Tell me in the comments. Let me know what your experience has been with your 4xe. And I don't know how to do that as a poll in the comments, but just kind of curious what your experience is and what you think Jeep could do along the lines of what I'm saying, like a tier 2 support or something. What is realistic as an expectation for the dealerships and the support that they get from Jeep. Thanks for watching. Take care.